the way marketing's been done in the past just is not going to work in the future. And companies, nobody's adapted to it. Nobody has found the right way to do it. And I think some of the tools that we found can help take you in the right direction. And there's a lot of companies that think, oh, I've got to get into alternate media, so I'm going to do internet advertising, or I'm going to put money over there. But it's not about putting money over there. It's about thinking about how people learn and getting in, infiltrating their networks and getting your product to be part of it. And part of it is you need to have a product that people really want to talk about today, because the way that people are learning is not from centralized communication, it's from their friends. And if your friend isn't going to tell you about a product because it's not exciting enough for them in their lives, your word is not going to be spread about your brand. It's a series of lifestyle brands that are being successful. And the reason why this makes sense is, again, the world is becoming very fragmented. People are living different lives. And as you think about your brand, you can't have a brand anymore that appeals to dozens of different lifestyles. So 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I don't think we're going to have a lot of these mass market brands anymore. I think what we're seeing is they're going away and they're being replaced by lifestyle brands. Because of all these forces, innovation's at an all-time high. There's tremendous change in the world. There's tremendous upheaval, and there's great opportunities for innovation. And what we're seeing is products coming out of nowhere, becoming billion-dollar brands. Vitamin water started less than 10 years ago in 2007, sold to Coca-Cola for $4.1 billion. What's interesting is very few of these are coming from big companies anymore. We believe that the way to think about targeting today is you need to start by thinking about less than 1% of the population. Okay, go deep, not broad. So this is the idea of, hey, I'm not going to be all things to all people. I'm going to pick a very narrow target, and I'm going to go after it. And the way I'm going to be successful is I'm going to sell a lot more product per person and not worry about how many people I'm selling to. Now, working for a large company, it's very hard to create personality in your products. But the more you can do this, the more you can create something that stands out, that's unique, that embodies a real person, it's going to make you more successful. So again, it's not enough just to sell a product today. There's hundreds of people out trying to sell products. Buy me, buy me. What's more important is that you make a connection with the consumer. And the way to make a real connection with the consumer today is to have a greater sense of mission behind your brand, behind your product. Today I've got to think about society as well. And it's important as you sell a brand that your brand does things that are good for the world. It's not enough just to sell products that make people happy. You've got to do things that support society as well. Consumers want to help select what goes on with your brand. They own the brand. You don't own the brand. And you need to involve them in the process. And it's not just a matter of, you know, well, pick the next color M&M, something trivial like that. They want to get involved in what's the brand going to do, what's the brand going to look like. How many of you have ever done a demo day in a store where you've actually sold product yourself at the store? For those of you that haven't done it, you ought to try it. It's a great learning experience, and you really learn a lot about your consumers. And my last thing here is you've got to create the right total experience. So again, it's not enough to sell a product. You've got to think about the whole experience that the consumer is having. The consumer is the one that's buying it every day. If they're not happy, if it's not going in the direction that they like, they're not going to keep buying it. So as you think about your own brand, you need to think about how can I help them have a greater stake in this.